There is no God except Him, the elevated, the transcendent. In the name of God, the splendid, the all-glorious. Praise be to God who created the letters, al-Irft, in the worlds of the theophanic cloud, awalam al-ama, beyond the pavilions of holiness, suratikat al-Quds, in the lofty heights of the most resplendent sphere, Rafarif al-Asna, then gave them to drink from the goblet of eternal subsistence as ordained in the tablets of the divine decree, all al-Ki. This that he might bring life to the inmost hearts of those who are nigh unto God in the omnipotent sphere of divine realization. Jabrat al-Ki. He then clothed the letters in a black robe in accordance with what was decreed through the measure of his eternality respecting the possibilities of divine foreordination, Qadar. This relative to the fate-regulating, crimson domes, Kibab al-Amr, and to the status of explicit knowledge, for he has concealed the water of life in the shadows of the worlds of names nigh unto the low tree of the extremity, Sidrat al-Muntaha. He then caused them, the letters, to descend into the kingdom of the divine will, Malakat al-Insha, in the atmosphere of the divine decree, Hawa al-Kia, whereupon a great cry was heard from the most exalted realm, thus addressing the primordial pen, Al-Kalam al-Awali, O pen. Set down the mysteries of pre-existence, Asrar al-Qaidam, upon the perspicuous, snow-white tablet, Al-Lawh al-Munir al-Bay. On account of this cry, Al-Nida, was the pen stupefied with intense yearning for 70,000 years according to the computations of such as calculate these things. When it recovered from its having swooned away according to the further operations of the divine decree, it wept crimson tears for 70,000 years. Then it stood up erect between the hands of God at a time which was neither preceded by the decree of firstness in the beginning nor by the decree of lastness in the end. While it was burning in the fire of separation on account of the cessation of the most sweet cry, there appeared within its tears a black hue, Lawn al-Sada, in the heavenly sphere of fidelity, Jabrat al-Wafa. A black teardrop sprinkled down upon the tablet, whereupon the point, Al-Nuka, was made manifest in the world of origination, Alam al-Bada. This point assumed the primordial shape upon the mirrors of the letters in the beings of the names. The Arabic letter, A, al-Aleph, received it, within itself, before all the other letters, in the pre-eternal, elemental particles of things, Phi Dar al-Ashia. For thus did this divine point take on the form of this eternal, Arabic letter, A, Aleph. This inasmuch as the merciful breezes blew upon it from the source of singleness, whereupon the countenance of the divine singularity, Waj al-Wahidiyya, was disclosed from behind the green veils. The substance, body, temple, form, Hakel, of the point was made manifest in the shape of the letter A, al-Aleph, A, and rose up from the tablet for the promotion of the most exalted, most great cause of God in the world of names and attributes. This is a station, Makam, by virtue of which the reality of the divine will, al-Mashiach, was clothed in the nominal robe and invested in the garment of qualificative attributes in the city of grandeur. When this upright letter A, al-Aleph, was established upon the luminous tablet, it was again transfigured with renewed splendor, whereupon the isolated letters, al-Irft al-Muka'at, shone forth in the primordial theophanies, all al-Irt, in order that they might be an evidence of the worlds of incomparability and command in the citadels of origination. Then there appeared from these, isolated, letters which shone forth from the primordial, letter, A, al-Aleph al-Aliyah, in the first of the theophanies, the worlds of delineation and multiplicity. They were differentiated, separated, and isolated, then gathered together, reconciled, united, and linked together. Then assembled words and compounded letters appeared in the worlds of creation in the forms of names and attributes, Hayakil al-Asma wa-Alift. Wherefore was the completion of the creation of the worlds of dominion and the predestined ornament, Ars al-Qadariya, among the manifestations of existing beings, to the end that all things might demonstrate, through the tongue of their inmost realities, that He, verily, is the eternal, the enduring, the creator, the powerful, the mighty, the sovereign. And they might testify to the fact that Ali before Muhammad, the Bab, is the manifestation of the divine essence, Mahar al-Dat, and the manifestation of the divine attributes, Mahar al-Ift, from whom existence derives and unto whom beings return. And that He, the Bab, is the one from whose beneficent logo self, Nafsihai al-Man, is the breath of the All-Merciful, Nafaz al-Rahman, For thereby were created the realities of the essences and the receptive dispositions, Akiq al-Jawariyat al-Kabiliyat, in the world of being as well as the manifestations of existing beings in the worlds of existence. The mirrors of the Bayan that speak of him and the letters of the living that cry out about him are foremost in the creation of God, the source of outward things and the refuge, point of return, for the servants of God in the eschatological day of dispersion. In this way God hath distinguished them above the rest of the creatures in the worlds of pre-existence, Awalam al-Qaidam. Through them it was that the light shone forth, the moons gleamed, the suns shed splendor, and the stars were evident. They all testify of him and demonstrate him such that there is no distinction between him and between them except that they were created by his command, were raised up in accordance with his intention, and were assembled through his power. They are those through whom is the cyclic scheme, Tatar al-Adwar, the revolving of the spheres of existence, Takur al-Akwar, and the ones through whom the trees of the divine unity sprung up and the incomparable fruits were made manifest. Through them are the rains of detachment sent down until the point returns to its original station after revolving around itself and arriving at its place, whereupon the end returns unto the beginning. Then the primal call was raised up from the furthermost tree with the splendor of the sun once again. And this is that which the dove hath sung in the midst of eternity in this singular night, in which the fire of the divine oneness hath been ignited from the tree of Sinai in the shade of the most ancient name. And the eternal secret which, or who, was named the living, Ayiy, the pre-existent, Al-Qadim, and the Qayyum al-Asma, in order that every manifestation may bear witness in the secret recesses of their hearts unto the secret things, that he, verily, is the mighty, the powerful, the protector, the bestower. This is a book from the Arabic letter, B, al-Ba, before the Arabic letter, H, al-Ha, equals Baha'u'llah, unto those who have believed in God and have attained unto the lights of guidance for the purpose of bringing them unto the pavilion of holiness, Siratic al-Quds, and drawing them nigh unto a seat, Mak'ad, to which none who disbelieve in God have attained. And to this testify the embodiments of names, Hayakil al-Asma, and the cities of attributes, Mada and Alift, and beyond them also the angels of holiness. Say, in the cooing of the dove upon the branches, the soaring of the doves of holiness, the surging of the sea of singleness, the uplifting of the clouds of wisdom, the descent of the rains, the gushing of the rivers from the rocks, and in the establishment of the temple of eternity upon the throne of lights, are signs unto those who gaze upon the realities of things with the eye of God. Ponder therefore, O concourse of lovers, upon the creation of the heavens and of the earth, then within yourselves, that you might be guided by the manifestations of power unto the lights of guidance in the days of the divine countenance. We received a communication, letter, kitab, from the letter Q Kaf, who had journeyed from his self and emigrated unto God, the protector, the self-subsisting. He attained unto the regions of holiness and entered the Egypt of certitude, Mir al-Ikan, in a place wherein the fire of God, Nar Allah, blazed up beyond the veils of light, and in which the luminary of singleness, Siraj al-Adiyah, was ignited in a mighty, concealed lamp. Thus are those to be preferred who have left their homes for the love of God above those who fail to turn towards the precincts of holiness in the city which those who are nigh unto God have circumambulated. In his letter there was inquiry about mysteries, asrar, which none among the creatures hath anticipated, the veil on the face of which none among humankind hath drawn aside, and which hath not been comprehended by the mystic knowers. Then know thou that which thou hast asked concerning the light verse, Quran 2400 hours 35, which was sent down upon Muhammad, the messenger of God aforetime, concerns a verse the comprehension of which the worlds cannot sustain. Even if whatever lieth within God's knowledge became pens, and all that has been decreed became oceans of ink, and the fingers of might wrote its mysteries for all time, this would not suffice to exhaust even a single letter of the meaning of this honorable and blessed verse which hath been revealed by the tongue of grandeur. Nevertheless, I shall cause to be sprinkled down upon thee a dewdrop from the fathomless ocean of the sea of knowledge and wisdom, in order that thou might be amongst those who have hastened to the plains of knowledge, and who have drunk deep of the goblet of divine favor from the hand of the youth seated upon the throne of paradise. When, for Moses, the appointed term in the Midian of the divine will was completed, he returned to his people and entered the environs of Sinai in the holy veil at the right-hand side of the region of paradise by the precincts of the eternal realm. He heard the call from the most exalted realm, from the retreat of the divinity Ipsiadi, Shar al-Huwiyya, O Moses. Behold! What do you see? I verily am God, your Lord and the Lord of your fathers, Ishmael, Isaac, and Jacob. Then Moses veiled his face out of the fear of God, the mighty, the powerful, the self-subsisting. Again was Moses summoned before the shores of the ocean of grandeur in the crimson dome. Lift up, O Moses, your head. When he lifted it up, he saw a light, blazing and luminous from the furthermost tree in the verdant, green, vale. Wherefore was he guided by the most great guidance from the fire kindled from the eternal Lawh tree. Then did he doff the sandals of desire, and detached himself from the dominion of this world and of the hereafter. All this was what God had decreed for him, even as thou hast been informed in the scriptural tablets. Wherefore was his cause raised up and his remembrance exalted. He was among those who turned their faces by the lights of the fire towards the paths of justice. And this is what was ordained for Moses son of Imran in the dome of time, Kubad al-Zaman, as thou would know, if thou art of such as are informed. Thus hath borne witness the Quran of love, nigh the Quran of fire, and the Horeb of holiness, and the Sinai of nearness, if thou shouldst skin the pages of justice, a with Makron if al-adl, with the eye of God. When the veils of singleness were uncovered and the lights of the divine unity shone forth in the Mohammedan countenance, equals Muhammad, the fire of the divine Ipsiadi, Nar al-Huwiyya, was ignited for his Logos self, and his Logos self, through his Logos self, and the fire of the divine Lawh tree blazed up in his breast. He was seized by the pangs of love and the yearnings of desire on all sides, and he heard the call of God from the tree of the perfect man, Shajarat al-Insan, in his inmost being. He, verily, is thou, who art God, the King, the Protector, the Mighty, the Holy. This is what was ordained for Muhammad in the realm of the Spirit, in a realm, station, unto which the hearts of those of old did not draw nigh. Thus do we mention unto thee something of the mysteries of knowledge and the jewels of wisdom, perchance the people might be enkindled and illumined by the fire of God in the Lawh tree of the remembrance, Sidrat al-Dikr. When Muhammad the messenger of God desired to make mention of this most exalted station in order that he might inform them, his people, the Jews, of the mysteries of the divine unity, Asrar al-Adiyya, and the tree of his Logos self, Shajarat Nafsihai, and might enable them to be independent of the fire which shone forth in the Sinai of the decree, Sina al-Akm, upon the Moses of the cause, Musa al-Amr, God inspired unto him this luminous verse, Q. 2400 hours 35, that it might be a proof unto those who were given the Torah and a guidance unto those who were guided by the lights of guidance in the Mohammedan Lawh tree. And God commanded Moses to announce unto the people this, Mohammedan, Sinai in this Ahmadian spot, Al-Baqqa al-Ahmadiyya. Unto this beareth witness that which was revealed in the book, we verily sent Moses with our signs, and the command to bring out thy people from the darkness into the light, and announce unto them the days of God. Cf. Quran 14:5. This is that which was inscribed in the tablets, if you are of those who are informed. He indeed is the one who gave tidings unto the people concerning his eschatological days, how attainment unto his station might be realized, as would be clear, should thou be numbered among such as comprehend. Know thou that when Moses became aware of the fire of the tree, Nar al-Shajara, about the shore of the right-hand side of the sacred veil, he was guided by it, and was among those who, with the permission of God, have entered the blessed spot, Baqqa al-Mubarakah. Aforetime it was the case that if Muhammad became familiar with some reality or something interacted, touched, with him as fire, Nar, he made it light, Nur, unto whomsoever are in the heavens and upon the earth. And he guideth unto this light, Al-Nur, whomsoever he willeth among his creatures. Such is what was inscribed in the archetypal book, Al-Kitab, and which thou recite through the criterion, Al-Furqan equals the Quran. Then know thou that the locus, Makam, of the niche, Mishkat, and this, light, verse, Q. 2400 hours 35, is his Logos self, Nafs, equals Muhammad, and that the lamp, Mib, is his resplendent heart, Kalbihi al-Munir. The glass, Zijaj, is his sanctified person, temple, body, Haikalihi al-Qudsiyya, in which the lamp of the divine singularity, Siraj al-Adiyya, shines forth. The light, al-Nur, is ignited and radiates splendor from Muhammad, for from him derives the splendor of all who are in the heavens and on the earth. Wherefore do we mention this unto thee, that thou might be illuminated by means of this light, al-Nur, in the eschatological days of the Spirit, al-Ar, after this light, al-Nur, had shone forth in the Mohammedan lamp, Mib al-Muhammadiyya, was ignited in the Ahmadiyyan niche, Mishkat al-Ahmadiyya, and the creation of the unique one, al-Adiyya, the Bab, was completed through the creation of the pre-existent temple, Haykal al-Qadmiyya. God hath decreed that he might remind the people about the encounter with him, God, at the time of the latter resurrection, Qiyamat al-Ukhra, and give them tidings of a holy, laudable reality in a locale in which the concourse of the elevated ones and the spirits of the cherubic beings, those who are nigh unto God, our al-Mukarrabin, shall be gathered together. Therein shall be uplifted the clouds of divine bounty, and through the rejoicing of God the believers shall be made to greatly rejoice. This is what was promised in mighty, preserved tablets, all was math, in which he says, Exalted be his sovereignty, the day when your Lord shall come, or certain of the signs of your Lord, CFQ 6:158, and this is what all who are in the heavens and on the earth were promised about him, the theophany of the Bab, to the end that all might bear witness within themselves that this one is certainly the true one, Alak, no God is there except him. He undoubtedly is the ultimately real, Alak, the one aware of things unseen, Alam al-Ghayab. Then know, thou of, the station of he who came in the garment of Ali, equals the Bab or sublime robe, Bikam Ali, upon clouds of light, Gamma min al-Nur, and that Muhammad, the messenger of God, was an announcer of the glad tidings of the encounter, meeting, with him on a day in which the righteous shall greatly rejoice on his account. Know also that after he came unto them with manifest signs, the slanderers spoke against him and treated him in such wise that the pen is loath to dwell upon it. And God beareth witness unto this, even if thou do not so testify. They disbelieved in him and denied him, and among them was one who slandered God, accusing him of enchanting the people. Thus were they veiled from the encounter with God, did not assist him in his cause, and failed to turn in the direction of the countenance unto which those who are nigh unto God have turned. And thou, O concourse of the Bayan, render thanks unto God in that he hath bestowed his bounty upon thee in such wise that thou hast been enabled to know his logos self, nafs equals the Bab, and were ennobled through attaining the encounter with God, Likala. He, in very truth, raised thee up and sent down unto thee that which enabled thee to be free of those who disbelieved and inclined to associate gods with God, even though all expected the advent of his days and all were heirs to the promise of his coming. Wherefore know that we have, in very truth, awakened thee, raised thee up and ennobled thee through the divine grace, inasmuch as we gave thee a refuge in the precincts of knowledge, Sha with Makron al-Ilm, instructed thee in the paths of Gnosis, Subul al-Irfan, and drew thee nigh unto a fire, Nar, through which the hearts of those who have believed in God, their Lord, and trusted in him, were at every moment made to blaze. Then know that the significance of the light, verse, Q 2400 hours 35, cannot be understood, except that we should instruct thee through the truth, through the true one. Since none shall comprehend it save those who were patient in God, and inasmuch as none shall understand it except those who were sincere. This is from the divine bounty which hath neither beginning nor end. Yet thou, O thou hopeful petitioner, during these days in which the sun of bounty hath shone forth from the dawning place of singularity, Mashrik al-Adiyya, and the lamp of the divine Ipsiety, Siraj al-Huwiyya, hath shed splendor in the niche of holiness, Mishkat al-Qudsiyya, shall not witness the significance of this light, verse, save in a temple, Haykal, which God has secreted beyond the pavilion of might in the beloved heights of divine nearness. Do thou not witness how God hath caused his logos self, nafs, to radiate through the fire of his own logos self, nafs, in the eternal niche, Mishkat al-Baka, and preserved it in the lamp of power, Mib al-Qudrat, between the earth and the heavens, lest the breezes of ungodliness should blow upon it, and there be manifest there from the light, al-Nur, from behind the 70,000 veils of light and darkness, according to a prescribed measure, to the extent of the eye of the needle, and how he caused to radiate from the glasses the possibilities of existence, Zujajat Wujud al-Mumkinat. This in such wise that they may all give account about God, their Creator, in view of the theophany, tajalli, upon them of this divine light, al-nur al-ilahiyya. This is what we bring to thine attention of the wonders of hidden knowledge, in order that at every moment thou might render thanks unto God thy Lord, as also all the believers. This to the end that thou might be contented within thyself, and that thou be oriented towards a region upon which not a single footstep of the creatures hath attained, save those, that is, those who are at every moment consumed by the fire of love, and unto which none have drawn nigh except such as are detached from all that is within the mighty domain of the divine command, Jabrat al-Amr, and in the world of creation, and who, with the permission of God, tread the paths of submission. Thus have we given thee sufficient through that which we have expounded for thee relative to this sanctified verse. We have abridged the elucidation of its significances, in that we have previously commented upon it in diverse ways and modes which have astonished the intellects of mystic knowers. Be satisfied with what hath been sent down for thee in this blessed night, cf. Laylat al-Qadr, which God hath set aside among nights as one in which he hath decreed every affair as something ordained, sealed, before one mighty, self-subsisting. If this be deemed that which the pen of might hath written down upon these perspicuous tablets, then return unto what was previously inscribed by a mighty, evident finger, since in the low tree of the words, Sidrat al-Kalamat, through the fire of singleness, Nur al-Adiyya, hath blazed forth, and none shall grasp it save such as profess the unity of God. On its branches are doves, all of which were created from the fire of the divine Ipsiety, Nur al-Huwiyya, and none doth hear there cooing save those who are detached. By God. If thou should make careful observation, thou would assuredly become informed of all branches of knowledge according to what hath been inscribed in these tablets, and be free from all except him. This, verily, is the certain truth. Now regarding that which thou inquired of the isolated letters, Hurufat al-Muqa'at, in the writings and the scriptures, al-Aa with Makranif wal Zubirat. Know thou that every single one of these letters are assuredly signs, ayat, unto such as are informed. In them are ciphers, rumuzat, allusions, isharat, deep significances, ma'ani, and testimonies, dalalat, not a letter of which can be grasped save by those who tread the path of God's good pleasure and delight. In the room of knowledge from all eternity hath their mysteries been hidden in the storehouses of infallibility. Kana is al-Ismat, sealed with the seal of power, by Kitm al-Qudrat, and veiled in the veil of might, by China al-Izat, though at this moment hath their seal been broken in view thy capacity, and thy desire, and in accordance with what the people are capable of understanding. This such that those to whom hath been given the guidance which cometh from God, might assuredly testify that everything created exists by virtue of an embodied reality, theophany, Phi Hakel, who, in very truth, creeth out divine guidance, for around him do circumambulate all the elevated letters, al-Hurufat al-A, I, Leah, and the compounded words, al-Kalamat al-Jami'ah, as thou would realize if thou should, truly, comprehend. Then know thou that those letters in the station of the names give testimony unto eternal levels of being without beginning, al-Kanunat al-Azaliyat, the realities of the divine oneness, al-Haqiq al-Adiyat, and the pristine sublimities of the divine Ipsiety, Sawazij al-Huwiyya, the like of which thou dost recite in the criterion, al-Furqan equals the Quran. He, God, saith magnified be his light at the commencement of the book, equals the Quran, Aleph, Lam, Mim, Alm. This is a book about which there is no doubt. It is a guidance unto the pious, Q 2:1-2, and in this place God hath designated his beloved one, equals Muhammad, by these extended, isolated letters, al-Hurufat al-Munbasit al-Muqa'at, as a means of confirming such as hath soared upon the wings of detachment in the atmosphere of the Spirit. O Muhammad, that book, Hada Kitab, is indicative of the book of thine own Logos self, Kitab Nafsika, which deriveth from a hidden, preserved book, Kitab Gaib Maf, which hath not been understood by anyone save God. All the books, Kutub, derive therefrom if thou art of such as are confirmed. And this is from an archetypal book in which is distinguished the knowledge of all that hath been and will be, and by means of which the rightly guided ones are guided. All that which was revealed from the beginning, which hath no beginning of the various books and the scriptures, al-Kutub wal Zuber, are but a letter of that book, Dalik al-Kitab. And none are informed of this save such as have, Miraj-like, ascended on the Al-Burak, celestial steed, of might, Al-Burak al-is, unto the atmosphere of divine nearness, Ha'a al-Kurb. Everything is capable of being registered on the level of description, Makam al-Wasf, except this hidden book, Al-Kitab al-Magnan, which is abstracted beyond all that can be characterized and all that those who describe things can depict. And he creates from it all that hath been and will be through his saying, Be. And it is. Q. 6 hours 73 minutes etc. Then know that book, Kitab, signifies the logo self, nafs, of Muhammad, in which all mysteries, Asrar, hath been inscribed by the pen of God, Kalam Allah, the protector, the mighty, the self-subsisting. This to the end that thou should testify to the fact that there is no God except him, the King, the Protector, the Beloved One. Thus has it been sent down aforetime. Read the book of thine own self, for this day it suffices to reckon against thee. Q. 17:15 a.m. This is a book which suffices those who have believed and which enables them to attain unto the precincts of a treasured name, and on another level reference is made to a book which was, in very truth, sent down upon him, and which God made to be a distinguisher, criterion, al-Furqan, between such as have believed and such as have disbelieved in their Lord, as accords with divine justice. And on another level know thou that God named his beloved one, Muhammad, by means of the composite letters, al-Hurufat al-Murakabat, and the compounded words, al-Kalimat al-Jamiyat, the like of which thou do utter through his names, Muhammad, Ahmad, and Mahmud in the kingdom of names, Malakat al-Asma. Thus he named him by means of extended letters, al-Hurufat al-Munbasa, and isolated characters, al-Rukamat al-Muka'a, in order that all possessed of some knowledge of God might acknowledge that all the most beautiful letters, al-Hurufat al-Aba, and the most beautiful names, al-Asma al-Husna, were created for him, such that nothing appears from the Beloved One equals Muhammad, except that he hath thereby intended his beloved, Muhammad/Baha'u'llah. And this indeed is his beloved one, as thou would realize if thou should observe with the eye of the Spirit. The utterance is confirmed in the light of that which the dove of timeless eternality, Warka al-Azaliyah, daily creeth out, supplicate ye. For his are the most beautiful names, al-Asma al-Husna. This indeed is what was sent down aforetime, and which thou dost recite during his days. The same also do most of the people recite. CQ 7:179. Then know thou that God is the one who created by means of these extended, isolated letters, al-Hurufat al-Munbasita al-Muqatta'a, aspects of a name of his beloved one, Fi-ism Habibihai, which is an expression of the essential realities of the extendedness, Jawariyat al-Munbasita, and of the subtle, elevated, pristine characteristics, al-Sadajat. Al-Rafi'a al-Latifa, the like of which thou do witness in the mirrors which reflect the Mohammedan sun, equals the 12 Imams, Shams al-Mohammedaniyah. Wherefore did he create in his name through the sacred words, al-Kalimat al-Mubaraka, the blessed definitive temples, Hayakil al-Madad, from the elements of the divine singularity, Anasir al-Wahidiyah, wholly in accordance with their respective degrees of reflecting this sun, al-Shams. Then ponder upon the creation of the heavens and of the earth, in order that thou might be aware that every divine name is in the shadow of his, Muhammad's name, and every divine attribute, ift, is but a shadow of his attribute. Be assured that everything lies within the grasp of his power and is created from the letters of his name, Hurufat Ismihai, and be thou reckoned among such as have discerned with the eye of God, Ain Allah, the manifestations of divine artistry, Mazahir al-Sana. And on another level the isolated Arabic letter, A, Aleph, represents the absolute divinity, al-Uluhiyyah al-Muwakka. The isolated letter, L, al-Lam, represents the absolute Walaya, providential overseership, al-Walaya al-Malaka, which is realized through his logo self, nafs, actualized, al-Qaima, through his saying, thy wali, patron, is, only, God, Q. 5:55 a.m. This is by virtue of the mighty, praiseworthy trusteeship, Walayat al-Aziz al-Mamd. The isolated letter, M, al-Mim, is expressive of the Mohammedan actuality, beingness, al-Kanuna al-Muhammadiyya, and the Ahmad modality, al-Ars al-Ahmadiyya. And God addressed him, Muhammad, by means of these, isolated, letters to the end that all might attain certitude for everything that he expounds is of importance, is communicated through created languages or made meaningful relative to the earthly originated domain, or al-Insha'iyah. All of this appears in the Mohammedan garment, Kam al-Muhammadiyya, and thus doth the dove, al-Warqa, warble forth on every level the melodies of the Spirit. Perchance thou might comprehend something of what is communicated unto thee. By God, if I desired to expound these three levels of interpretation, relative to these three, isolated, letters, numerous, scriptural tablets, al-Lawh, would in no wise suffice to register their significances, and sufficient ink would be available such that it would prove necessary to select on every level something of what thou art capable of apprehending. This inasmuch as the moment for the pen, al-Kalam, to write even a single letter is beyond my grasp in the light of the actions of such as have disbelieved and added gods to God. And this since the shackling of this youth, al-Ghulam, Baha'u'llah, seems something conspired within their breasts, the youth who reposes in the region of Iraq, Shatr al-Iraq, summons all unto progress and orients himself towards the horizon of the divine singularity, of Fak al-Adiyya, by virtue of the splendors of the radiance of the mystic horizons. These matters do we mention unto thee relating to the mysteries of the cause, Asrar al-Amr, perchance thou might be attentive. Wherefore, by he in whose hand is the Logos self of Usain. If it were not for the fact that the dangerous ways of the practitioners of dissimulation, all al-Nifaq equals, Azali Babish, had inhibited me, mention would have been made in the scriptural tablet, al-Lawh, of that which would enable thee to be detached from all that is in the heavens and on the earth, and enable thee to attain unto a station which no ear hath ever heard and no eye hath ever perceived. Such an ever-flowing bounty can never be surpassed, even if it should flow out from the beginning which hath no beginning unto the end for which no end can be perceived. This and that the fountainhead of this divine watercourse, this ocean of the divine singularity, al-Bar al-Adiyya, is none other than the reality of the lordly bounty, Hakikat Fadl al-Rabbaniyya, the very beingness of the knowledge of perpetuity, Kenuna ilm al-Samadiniyya. In view of this, how could it ever be that this delicious, ever-flowing reality could be exhausted? Nay, rather, by my Lord, it shall never cease, neither shall it pass away, for there shall be made manifest through it what shall give testimony unto us, and in addition also the witness of the denizens of the supreme concourse, Sukkin Mala alaylah. How can the bounty of God ever be terminated, or the divine grace be cut off on his part? Nay, by the very Lord of the heavens and of the earth. His mercy hath ever preceded all things, and his bounty hath forever circumambulated all existence. Say, O people, this is an expression of his bounty which he sends down unto thee, the rains of divine wisdom from the clouds of knowledge. Its effect wafts over all realms of possible being to the end that they might be enabled to enter the rune of holiness, rune al-Quds, and be clothed in garment of eternal subsistence, Kam al-Baka. Ponder ye, therefore, upon the mysteries of this divine bounty. Say, O people, you were asleep upon the bedclothes and failed to rise up from the couches of heedlessness, Maqaidi al-Ghaflat, when there dawned forth the sun of the divine love, Shams al-Ub. When, that is, all moldering bodies, al-Ajsad al-Ramama, were resuscitated through its energizing effect, you were as a frozen ice mountain, al-Jabal al-Bard, failing to melt down with the beaming radiance of this celestial, Sinaitic, fire, al-Nar, when all who dwelt within the lofty heights of paradise, Rafarif al-Khuld, were set ablaze thereby. Say, O people, thou failed to hearken unto this servant, al-Abd, possessed of certitude in God, al-Muchin by Allah, for, through this luminary, al-Siraj, didst thou become aware of the gradations of mystical love, Maratib al-Ub. How magnificently is he enkindled with the fire of love, Nar al-Ub, and how fiercely does he at every moment burn up through the fire of his own Logos self, Nar al-Nafsihai. Wherefore, should thou be set ablaze through the wonders of the remembrance, Bada'i al-Daiqr? So hearken thou, within thine own selves, and supplicate God within, regarding his mystery, Fi Sarihi, with a tongue dedicated unto him. Wherefore, say, O my God and my Master, Sayyid, I supplicate thee through thy luminary, Siraj, whom thou didst make to be sanctified above the lamp, Al-Mib, And that thou raised me up in the assemblage of the lovers in a locale wherein mention is made of the name of God, the mighty, help in peril, the one promised. The one that is, who, in very truth, shall come upon a cloud canopy of fire, Al-Azil min al-Nar, and about whom circumambulate the angels of the sacred cause, Malaikat al-Amr. At this will the cloud, of holiness be upraised, and the dove, al-Warka, warble out accents the like which of shall enrapture the inmost hearts of the cherubic beings who are nigh unto God, Afidat al-Mukarabin. Say, O people, hearken unto my speech. Realize the importance, Qadr, of these days and hold ye firm unto the brilliant, hidden thread, al-Kate. Be not entrapped by this mortal world, al-Dunya, and its embellishments, and do not allow thyself to be saddened by adversity or disoriented on account of what may harm thee through such as have disbelieved and turned away from God, the Mighty, the Beloved One. Be among the choicest of creatures who would not be held back by any hindrance of the hinderer, veiled by the baseness of the censurer, or withheld by antagonisms of an antagonist, even though, as thou wouldst realize, all who dwell on earth should oppose them. Such persons are among those who do not orient themselves in the direction of any single countenance and are unconcerned with anything in the created domain, al-Mulk. And were such persons to chance upon cities of gold, they would assuredly, even as the lightning, flee therefrom. They would in no way be entangled therewith, but render glory in the exuberance of their detachment. These are such that when the verses of thy Lord are recited unto them, the fire of the divine singularity, Nur al-Adiyah, is generated within their hearts, and their limbs are made to quake with spiritual yearning, al-Shaq. Their very countenances prostrate before God, the King, the help in peril, the Mighty, the Most Holy. Everything aforementioned, regarding such as is evidenced in the inmost disposition of those who are truly detached, do we cast upon thee, perchance thou might with thine own eyes speedily attain unto the shore of the divine bounty, Shah al-Fadl. Then know thou that on another level God intends by these isolated letters, al-Irft, the mysteries indicative of the chronological fulfillment of prophecy, Asrar al-Nihayat, by means of which he alludes unto the period of the concealment of the expected eschatological beauty, Ikfa al-Jamal, behind pavilions of glory, Suratikat al-Jalal, the like of which is evidenced in the recorded traces, Athar, of the 12 Imams of the Criterion, A'imma al-Furqan. Thus, for example, the words, wherefore should thou, in like manner, observe and be informed of such chronological mysteries in all the isolated letters, al-Irft, until the moment, in al-Shari equals 68 equals 1268, when there shall beam forth the messianic lights of a sacred, beloved dawn, Farkud's Mab, say, thou, O concourse of the Bayan. Behold, all of this latter interpretation is relevant to the levels of the creatures and of things originated, Meritib al-Kalk wal-Ibda, 2. Manifestations of things computed, Mazahir al-Ijad, and brought into being, al-Iktira. It is otherwise with respect to those levels, modes of interpretation, Makamat, which God made to be a locus, Mawlan, for his sacred, theophanic self-manifestations, Litajliyahi al-Qudsiyya. Such levels of significance are totally beyond the merest illusion. Account thereof can never be intimated nor evidenced by means of any indication, dalala. They, the letters, all lie within the abode of holiness, Makar al-Quds, where they assuredly await realization, fulfillment, liwakafin. Say, O concourse of the Criterion, al-Furqan equals the Quran, the isolated letters, al-Irft, have ascended unto their respective stations, Mawakif, and the words, al-Kalamat, unto their seats of repose, Maqa'id, yet thou, Muslims, up until this very moment, have failed to perceive anything at all. Hast thou not heard of the eschatological day when the crier, herald, Almunad, shall cry out, equals Q 50:41, 40a? And hast thou not heard of the eschatological, devastating shout, al-Sayha, with the very truth, by Elak? CQ 50:42, 41, etc. How is it that until this very moment thou hast remained lifeless in the veils of thine own selves? Rise up then from the resting places of heedlessness, Marakid al-Ghafla, ignorance, al-Jal, and hostility, Bagda, then proceed unto the remembrance of God, Dikra Allah. For such is best for thee if thou desirest to return unto the precincts of the divine nearness, Auden al-Kerb. And dost thou not consider bygone centuries with respect to what befell some persons, in view of the fact that they opposed the messengers of God, Rusul Allah, and rejected their verses, or signs, ayat. Consequent upon this, God did not commission any messenger, min Rasul, save he was sent down with a conclusive proof, hujjat, before which even the mature al-Balagan were incapacitated. And he hath given tidings to every messenger, Rasul, news of the sent messenger, Rasul, who shall come after him. And all were assuredly promised about his forthcoming advent. So observe such as were given the Torah aforetime, unto them was Moses raised up, and they were given good news from God, the help in peril, the self-subsisting, good news that is, about a prophet who would come after him, cf. Deuteronomy 18 verses 15 and 18. But when Moses came unto them with the rod of the command, with Makron al-Amr, and the Paran of love, Faran al-Ub, they turned aside from him, Moses, and they said, This is not but a crazed magician, Sahir Majnun. And they disavowed him and debated with him, they disputed with him until innumerable years passed by, and God lifted him up through his command and enabled him to attain unto a place, station, Makam, which was ordained for him. Thus were matters implemented through his wisdom, hikmat, and his proof, Burin, was established. Those who had disbelieved, added gods to God, and without justification acted tyrannically, and were, consequently, were cut off. Just as thou, even today, uttereth supplications for Moses, and such as hath believed in him, and curse Pharaoh and his hosts. Thus do we narrate for thee something of the narrative of established reality, Ka-alak, perchance thou might be mindful in the days of God. Then Moses gave the people tidings of he who would appear after him. And when Jesus came unto them with manifest, sacred expositions, Bayinat Kuds Mashhud, they waxed proud against him and said, Thou art not that, expected, one but not except a man bewitched, Rajul Masher. Subsequently, Jesus gave glad tidings of a prophet, Nabi, who would come after him by means of mighty, laudable allusions, by Isharat as Mamd. Thus, when Muhammad, the messenger of God, Rasul Allah, came unto them, they rejected him and disavowed him. They said, This is not but a man feeble against God, the help in peril, the self-subsisting. And when he was lifted up unto God, they gathered together in support of his cause, just as thou dost witness today. And they all, in the light of what had befallen him, Muhammad, were made to weep and evinced humility, then cursed such as wronged him, Muhammad. And the moment he was raised up unto sublime intimacy, transcended partnership, Rafiq al-Lawh, and had ascended unto the furthermost lofty heights, Rafarif al-Q, he promised the people the one who would come subsequently. All of the people of the criterion, Mala al-Furqan equals Muslims, are affirmative of that. And the cause, al-Amr, was in motion in the appointed times, Mutta, transpired until there came about the advent of Ali before Muhammad, equals the Bab, with brilliant signs, verses, ayat wit, and dazzling proofs, Yuj Bahirat, with solid arguments, Dala'il Mukamt, and resplendent testimonies, Barahin Laihat. Yet did all wax proud before God regarding his cause, Babism, despite the fact that they were all promised a meeting with him, God, Likai. Unto this testifieth all that was inscribed in preserved tablets, all Almaf, just as thou dost recite in the book, the Quran. This and that when God sealed prophethood, Khatama al-Nubuwat, through his beloved one, Abd equals Muhammad, the Khatam al-Nabiyan seal of the prophets, in Q 33:40b. He gave the servants the glad tidings of the encounter with him, God, and thus was the matter definitively resolved, Khatama al-Maktam. Then when God came unto them in the shadows of the clouds, Faizulul al-Gamam, Q.2:210, breathed into the trumpet of the cause, Nafaka fight Sir al-Amr, CFQ.18:99, etc., split the heaven asunder, Ensakat al-Sama CFQ.55:37, 69:16, 84:1, and crushed the mountains to dust, Q.56:5, 69:14, etc., did all retreat back upon their heels, CFQ.3:144, 6 hours 71 minutes, continuing to await the encounter, meeting with him, God. This just as the Jews and the Christians continue to await that which they were promised aforetime. From that day until this very moment they all remain in a state of eschatological expectation. How many messengers, Ruzel, hath God, in very truth, sent unto them after Moses up until this moment? The Jews failed to perceive this, and have for all these years stated that he, the Messiah, shall come in a subsequent year, Phi Sanat Ukra. Know therefore their measure, Makadir, and the measure of such as are enshadowed within their own shadow, Phi Zil and Fusim. So observe those who join partners with God, the nature of their past ways, and what they are still doing today. In this way do we graciously aid thee in distinguishing every particular, prophetic, announcement, al-Naba, and lay before thee what hath befallen the messengers of God. This to the end that thou be informed about the mysteries of the cause, Asrar al-Amr, and be numbered among such as are today reckoned among those who have entered neath the shadow of the face, Zil al-Awaj, such as God hath elevated to a station which is known to his own Logos self, after which all had calumniated against him. At this moment do we return unto what we had previously mentioned and establish anew the garment of mystic meaning, Kam al-Ma'ani, upon the repositories of the words, Hayakil al-Kalamat, which are pristine, mujarrad, unprecedented, bad, and multifaceted, mansaj. This that thou might become certain about the fact that the timing of the cause, Zaman al-Amr, is in the grasp of one powerful, awesome, marhub, and one capable, should he so will, of initiating change, revolution, munkalib. Thus, when his cause came unto all who were in the created dominion, there occurred revolution, for all were overturned. Then know that were I to make mention of the mystical meaning of the letter A, Ma'ani al-Aleph, which was revealed at the commencement of the book, Al-Kitab equals the Quran 2:1, according to that which was ordained therein of the pearls of hidden knowledge, Lulu ilm Maknun, it would assuredly cause the swooning away of all who inhabit the heavens and the earth, save that is, such as are immersed within the surging waves, of the ocean of the divine power, Yam al-Qudrat, and the proximity of the divine countenance, Mukabalat al-Waj. These are such persons as are leagued against the dogs of the earth, Kilab al-Ard, which seize us, me, with the clutches of enmity and reject the bounty which hath descended from a cloud raised up in the name of God. Bayazam Allah, that quencheth the thirst of those who are consumed in the Paran of separation, Faran al-Firak, nigh thee unto the raging fire, for Warren al-Nar. Some of them would assuredly expire, and this to the extent that even if the spirit of life, or al-Ain, were breathed into them, they would not even come alive again, be able to crawl. But a very few of them would quaff from the life-giving spring, Alma and Al-Ion, which floweth in the shadows of these words, and would glorify God their Creator in that he hath caused to shine upon them from the direction of Iraq the luminosity of the horizons, Nayir al-Afak, following the swooning away of the spirits and their subsequent recovery, Thumma Afak. Know therefore that the people have been scattered in view of the fact that they were given to disputation. And thus was sent down aforetime unto Muhammad, the messenger of God, Rasul Allah, that, and only a handful of my servants evinced gratitude, yet, in spite of all this, it is beloved to us, me, that I should give special attention to the one who striveth in the way of God, journeyeth towards him, and migrateth unto him. In this light do I cast, according to the capacity of such among the servants of God, who can bear it, of those souls who can sustain, and of such intellects as can fathom it, what might serve as a memorial and an expression of glad tidings, Tadkarat wa Bisharat, unto the servants and, unto, those who desire to hasten unto the abode of peace, Dar al-Salam equals Baghdad, and enter beneath the shade of the tree of reunion, Shajarat al-Wazl. Hearken then unto what is revealed, unto thee in this blessed, Sinaitic, spot, bucket al-Mubarakat, from this all-eternal, Sinatic, tree, bush, al-Shajarat al-Sarmadiyya, which is not consumed by fire, Makabesa Anna al-Nar, cf. Exodus 3:2b, unto this do none draw nigh except such as circumambulate about its domain and, with his consent, sacrifice themselves in his path thereafter rendering thanks. Know thou then that the isolated letter A, Aleph, is, on a certain level, a herald, indicative, Bashir, of his greatest name, Alizam al-Am, which is Allah, God. First letter equals A. The isolated letter, L, Lam, is an aspect of his hidden knowledge, Min ilmihai al-Magnan. The isolated letter, Mem, indicateth his name the bestower, al-Mu'ai. That is to say, ALM, semi-acrostically indicates the sentence, I am God, the most informed, al-Alam, the bestower, al-Mu'ai. And these names are what God hath singled out for his own logo self, by nafsihai, at the commencement of the book, al-Kitab equals Q, 2:1. By this means doth he accomplish that which he desireth, and none can ever know the nature of what he desireth, nor outstrip him in his knowledge. And we one and all are certain and confident of this matter. Now, on another level God, glorified be he, intendeth by the letter A, Aleph, of the isolated letters ALM, the oneness of his essence, Adiyya Dadihai. By the letter L, Lam, is indicated the Walaya, providential custodianship, of his Wali, intimate authority, custodian, legatee, guardian, etc. For the letter L, Lam, is the letter indicative of al-Walaya, one representative of special custodianship, if thou art of such are informed. By the isolated letter Mem, is indicated the prophethood, Nubuwah, of his beloved, Ab, equals Muhammad, for this letter, M, is the letter of prophethood, Nubuwah, as is indicated by the fact that it appears at the beginning of the name of his messenger, equals Muhammad, just as thou dost witness. And the letter of the Walaya, Arf al-Walaya custodianship equals L, hath precedence over the letter of prophethood, Arf al-Nubuwah equals M. This so that those possessed of heartfelt vision testify to the fact that this is an expression of eschatological glad tidings, Bashar min Bad, unto all who inhabit the heavens and the earth, for he who succeeded Muhammad, equals the Bab, hath in his mighty name, equals Ali Muhammad, the name of Walaya, custodianship. Ism al-Walaya, equals Ali, precede the name of prophethood, Ism al-Nubuwah, equals Muhammad, just as thou art aware in the Bab's name, Ali before Muhammad, Ali Muhammad equals the Bab. Evidence of this is furnished by the second verse of the criterion, Al-Furqan equals the Quran, which, in very truth, was revealed as follows. No doubt is there about this book wherein there is guidance for the God-fearing who believe in the unseen, Al-Gaib, Q 2:2. Now the unseen, Al-Gaib, doth not relate to the era, ASR, of Muhammad except through Ali before Nabil, equals Muhammad equals the Bab, if thou be of those who believe in this unseen, Al-Gaib. Through this unseen, Al-Gaib, did God take a covenant, Al-Ahd, by virtue of the very, pre-eternal, constituent atoms of the criterion, the current equals Muslims, Fi Dar al-Furqan, with all such as inhabit the heavens and the earth, though most of the peoples remain devoid of comprehension. Know therefore in what manner the bird of the throne, Dik al-Arsh, extendeth its tongue and warbleth in the lofty heights of eternal subsistence, Rafaraf al-Baka, informing thee of that through which thou shouldst find thy minds calmed, thy souls refreshed, and thine hearts delighted. Through this also should the believers in the divine oneness, Al-Mu'adin, be exhilarated. Know then the greatness of this cause, Al-Amr, for God hath made mention of it at the very beginning of his book, the Quran, 2:1, and at the very commencement of his address with his beloved one, Muhammad. In spite of this, these profligate souls, Muslims, broke the covenant of God, Nakisu Ahd Allah, violated his testament, Mithaq, and repudiated his proof, Burin. Not satisfied with all this, they did unto him, the Bab, what shattereth the very patience of the truly patient. Thus do we inform thee of the mysteries of the cause, if thou dost hearken with the ears of sanctity. So by God, shouldst thou ponder upon the Lam, which was sent down between the two, isolated, letters, Al-Arfain equals A and M, thou wouldst assuredly attain everything that thou desirest, for the Lam, hath the form of 3 letters, Hi Adihai Thalitha, equals L plus A plus M, when spelled out in full, as accords with the reckoning of the practitioners of computation in their examination thereof. The latter, persons, thus assigned to its reality, nafs, 3 letters, that is, the letter L, Al-Lam, the letter A, Al-Aleph, and the letter M, Al-Mim. It, the isolated letter L, thus combines within itself everything about which we might be questioned regarding the ALM. The letter M, Al-Mim, appeareth within its reality, nafs, and this is an evidence of its being self-contained, Istaina, as thou wouldst realize if thou shouldst soar in the firmament of self-sufficiency. Hawa al-Tajrid, and the expanse of the divine oneness, Fada al-Tawhid. In view of this do the proof seekers, al-Mustadilin, demonstrate the fact that he, verily, no God is there save him, innahu la ilaha illa huwa. He, verily, hath ever been exclusively one, wid, in his essence, dat, one in his attributes, ift, one in his name, ism, one in his cosmological alchemical handiwork, san a. Could there possibly be any God other than he? Say, praised be God. There is no God other than he. And we, one and all, before him and his handiwork, san a, do stand in bewildered awe, mutahirin. Through this are the veils of blasphemous idolatry, hijabat al-shirkiyah, burned up, the intimations of self-guidance dissipated, and the banners of the champions of the divine oneness upraised. Ponder now upon the A, al-Aleph, which God placed in an intermediary position between the L, al-Lam, and the M, al-Mem, in the isolated letter L equals L plus A plus M. Such is what cannot be comprehended through discernment nor fathomed by means of knowledge, al-ilm, even if all such as inhabit the heavens should consider this matter for an eternity of eternities. Fi-azal al-azal. In the effort to comprehend, the very doors of the mystical senses, abwab al-ma'ani, of this all-perpetual letter, al-arf al-samadani, would be bolted, and the portals of explication, abwab al-alfas, would be opened, that thou might make due progress should thou hearken aright. Know then that should thou make this divine A, al-alaf al-alahi, to revolve about itself, nafsihai, there would be manifest two upright as, al-alfain al-qa-amain. And then after that, if thou should raise them both up unto the value of the tens, al-asharat, then there would be manifest the number of twice 10 equals 20, adad al-asharain. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2x 10 equals 20. Then would surely be made manifest the letter K, al-Kaf, al-Shari equals 20, of the creative imperative, command, equals Kun equals B. By means of which the temples of the divine unity, Hayakil al-Ta'ad, the manifestations of singleness, Mahir al-Tafrid, and the loci of abstracted reality, Mawaki al-Tajrid, were called into being. And this, creative K as the imperative, actualized the Quranic, and it is, Fayakin, Kun Fayakin, B and it is, Q, 2:115, 342, 6 hours 72 minutes etc., before it was associated with the supportive letter N, Bayraknal none, as thou dost know, if thou art of such as are informed. Following this conjoining of K and N as the creative imperative, the modalities, al-Isharat, were created in the worlds of limitation, awalam al-Tad, as well as the concrete, worldly, testimonies, dalalat al-Mulkiyah, in the worlds of constructed reality, awalam al-Tarkib. Unto this do testify such as are privy to the knowledge of the mysteries of wisdom, ulu al-ilm asrar al-ikmat, the like of which hath streamed forth from a manifest and mighty pen, kalam is mashud. Know then that all of the isolated letters, al-irft, and the words, al-kalamat, return unto this all-eternal letter, a, al-alaf al-samadani, and this lordly cipher, al-rakm al-rabbani, as would be evident to thee, if thou should observe with the vision of the heart. It assuredly is a manifestation of the letters, Mahar al-Hurafat, without it being, in the least, alluded to, min ger al-ashara alayhi. And thus was the knowledge which originateth with him, in very truth, sent down should thou estimate correctly, and be of such as comprehend. Otherwise beseech God, thy Lord, that he instruct thee in his knowledge, and proffer unto thee what shall enable thee to be independent of such as resist guidance by the verses, signs, of God, by Ayat Allah, who do amble in the shadowy enclaves of the abysmal deep, and are engulfed therein from all directions by waves of hellfire, causing them to sweat profusely, though utterly failing to realize spiritual intimacy. Observe now the mysteries which are deposited in this letter, A, al-Aleph, for in all the letters, al-Irft, are theophanies, tajalayat, of this A, al-Aleph. Then observe ye this. Witness ye, for example, that in this letter, A, al-Aleph, is the letter B, arf al-Ba, in an humbled, innocent condition, by Ku'abara, utterly prostrate upon the dust, its whole being manifesting fear before God, Kushu and Lilahi, as thou mayest observe if thou beholds its shape, Arabic A equals B, leveled, turned on its side. Subsequently was it, the locus of A/B, manifested in the temple of the letter D, Hakel al-Dal, exhibiting its prostration, al-Ruku, before God, the help in peril, the beloved one. Note the bent, prostrate shape of the Arabic letter D. And when it has prostrated itself before God, the essence of the letter A with Makron D, Ayin al-A with Makron D, was made manifest. From this there floweth the cosmic, watery expanse, Alma, through which God reviveth all who exist within the heavens and on the earth in the category of creatures, Meritib al-Kalk, as would be evident, if thou should scrutinize the constituent nature of the creatures, Ather al-Kalk. Wherefore be informed that all the letters, al-Erft, and all of the creatures are in this light subject to such theophany on account of the theophanic transformations of this letter, A, Tajalayat Hada al-Aleph, which is manifested within diverse, letter-shaped, receptacles, Hayakil al-Muktalifa, evident unto thee if thou should examine the diverse forms of the letters of the alphabet, al-Erft al-Hijayah. And when it came about that God desired to manifest the theophanic transformations, Tajalayat, of this letter, A, al-Aleph, there radiated forth upon these primordial letters a theophanic disclosure of his likeness, image, Tajali and Min Mythalahi. As a result, all these primordial letters, al-Erft, were affected by the creative imperative, B. Kuan, and their very garments, Kama ID, outer forms, were made manifest. If they should sanctify their own selves from these transient embodiments, al-Isharat al-Madudat, they would one and all exist in the disembodied form, Hakel, of this letter, A, al-Aleph, and, when necessary, would arise in accordance with their respective forms. And should thou desire to witness a theophanic self-disclosure, Tajali, of this letter, A, al-Aleph, rising up, al-Qaima, in the primordial essence of the letters, al-Erft, according to their own shape and its own subsistent being, Kayamihi, thou shouldst assuredly evince certitude within thyself for it. The A doth assuredly arise up above all things. Then observe the devolved cryptic dimensions, al-Rukamat, of the letter S, A, just as thou dost witness their mundane numerical alphabetical aspect, A Dad al-Handesa. This letter, A, al-Aleph, for example, if thou submerge it in the oceans of the decads, Abra al-Asharat, the A would appear, maintaining its own shape through the replication of the primordial point, by Ziyadat al-Nuka, as two dots, and from it would appear the letter Y, Alia, for its numerical value is 10, Ya equals al-Shari 10 is equal to 1 and 0, according to the manner of enumeration in which thou dost calculate. In like manner, if thou shouldst cause the letter A, al-Aleph, to ascend unto the heaven of the hundreds, it would appear in its very essence through the compounding of the dual points, Ziyadat al-Nukatain, such that thou would, this moment, observe the letter Q, al-Kaf, again with two dots. Wherefore is it that the letter A, al-Aleph, traverseth until it terminateth at the end of numerical computation, Akir al-Adad, when the letter A, Arf al-Aleph, appeareth on the fourth level of the thousands, Rebad al-Rabi, again, through the compounding of the primordial points, by Ziyadat al-Nikit. Wherefore is there manifest the numerical reckoning of the thousands, Adad al-Aleph. In this respect thou shalt observe the letter Gh, al-Gain, al-Shari equals 1,000, then witness thou in what manner the tokens of the divine unity, Ather al-Tad, become evident in the omnipotent realm of the letters, Jabrat al-Erft, such that thou might bear witness in the horizons of the realms of possibility, Afak al-Munkanat, and the selves possessed of intellectuality, Anfas al-Maqulat, CFQ, XXXX, the fact that he is God and that there is none other God save him, and that all return unto him. So when the locus, self, nafs, of the letter A, Arf al-Aleph, became evident in the first of the letters as well as the last of them, there appeared in its essence, dat, through the tongue of their inmost reality, Bilisan Sarihi, the words, he is the first and the last, the seen and the hidden, Huwa al-Awa al-Akir al-Hir al-Bin, equals Q, 57:3. And all in this respect were one as regards the unity of their Creator, equals the A, for before him were they prostrate. On that level, al-Makam, he appropriated to this letter, A, al-Aleph, all the other emergent letters, al-Urift, and thus was the theophany, Tajali, of this letter, A, al-Aleph, made manifest, through its own self, by nafsihi, upon all the other letters, as thou would evident, if thou were, of such as are, enraptured in the rune of the divine unity, rune al-Ta'ad. At any given moment what applieth to the letter A, Alephin, is truly affirmed of the letter B, Arf al-Ba, and the reverse also may be observed. Then be aware of the points, al-Nik, which are increased relative to it, the A, on all of its levels and degrees. This is that which establisheth the outward forms, al-Isharat, which it, the A, assimilateth in the expression of its alphabetic self-manifestations, tanzilat tajaliyatihi, to the end that the people realize that he allotteth them, equals the points in A equals the various letters, in accordance with their varying capacity, miqdar, and according to what is ordained for them relative to it. Otherwise, if it were in its alphabetical mode and it equals the points in the A equals various letters, failed to become clothed in the garment of alphabetic limitation, kam-al-ud, it would prove incomprehensible unto the inmost hearts of such as are possessed of discernment, as well as unfathomable unto those possessors of intellect. Then witness an alphabetical self-manifestation, tajalli, of this locus of the letter A, al-Aleph, within thine own self. For thou, verily, at the moment in which thou hearken and envision this A, thou shalt cry out whatsoever thou desire, inasmuch as no single affair hold thee back, and no single action obstructs thee, just as thou witnesseth all that within thine own selves. And in like manner experience something of the divine names, Fashida Fi el Asma, at the moment when the divine name, the hearing, Ism al-Sami, is confirmed for thee. In consequence there will, also, be confirmed for thee the divine name, the seer, Ism al-Bar, and likewise further divine names if, that is, thou shouldst gaze within thyself with unblemished vision, by Uyun al-Faya. And all of this may transpire, relative to divine attributes, if, which all the people up till this moment return unto their Creator, Khalik, for they lack insightful awareness. So testify, also, within thyself that all of these divine attributes hath been created within his dominion, and he casteth them out upon such of his servants as he willeth, for he, verily, no God is there save him. He would not be comprehended in any respect through thine own comprehension, neither would he be understood in any fashion after the manner in which thou doth understand. Nay, rather, he created these various levels, abilities, and the realities, anfas, of his servants to the end that thereby they all might become informed of the fact that he, verily, created the names, al-Asma, but hath ever been sanctified therefrom, and he fashioned the attributes, al-Lift, but hath ever remained abstracted therefrom. There indeed is no originator, Mubdi, other than him, for his is the Logos command, al-Amr, and the creation, al-Khalq, for were not all created through his Logos command, by Amrihai. Wherefore shouldst thou exclaim, so exalted be God, the King, the help in peril, the self-subsisting. So exalted be God, the omnipotent, the Creator, the powerful, the mighty, the beloved one, O concourse of the Bayan. Strive thou in thy spirits and thy souls in order that thou might attain this station, and be not of such as have failed. Hold fast unto any one of the divine names, Ism min al-Asma, and among those who give no attention unto these divine attributes, al-Lift. Be thou not of such as have eyes, but fail to perceive anything, for whom a hearing ear is inoperative, and who have hearts that fail to comprehend. So testify within thyself that thou art rising up, sleeping and walking, yet retaining but a single identity, by Shewid, for such is an established reality. In spite of this there riseth up from amongst thee the expression of the various divine names and attributes, al-Asma wa al-Lift, just as thou dost witness and submit unto all of them within thine own selves. And these diverse, divine, names and numerous attributes were manifest in diverse ways, the like of which was decreed for thyself, and were created in thy bodies. Perchance thou might ascend within thyself through the experience of, celestial ascents of, mystical, gnosis, ma'arij al-irfan. For example, thou dost take an action which is but a single thing, even though thou dost name or designate it with all the various names, by kul al-Asma. In reality, in its very essence, the action is abstracted from everything that thou speak of or the like of which thou dost, inwardly, make reference to. In turning, however, unto the locus of hearing and its root bases, there should be manifest a trace, ather, an attribute, ift, or another name, ism, it would in no wise appear distinct from that action. Likewise, in turning unto the locus of vision and through such of the faculties as are implicit therein, there would be manifested another trace of a specific attribute, ift. Such is what thou wouldst find relative to thine own selves. It is, also, likewise with respect to the tongue, al-lisan, should the action be oriented towards the tongue there would appear the power of speech, al-nuk, just, in fact, as thou dost articulate. And this is the result of focusing upon the outer foundations, ab al-hiriya, of the various divine names, and the condition of the human identity, hakal al-bashariya. And again it is likewise with respect to the interior dimension, albin, through the insightful vision, bibar albin, as thou would realize, shouldst thou, befittingly, bear witness. For example, in the association of the action, with the heart, the liver, the spleen, the head, and more besides, it is manifested in these diverse situations, resulting in diverse names the like of which thou dost name, through the intellect, al-akal, the spirit, soul, al-nafs, and the inmost heart, al-fuad, wherefore be informed of the alphabetical, theophany, al-tajalli, of the letter, a within thine own self, nafs, in spite of the fact that it is of but a single reality, cfa equals. Al-Shari 1, wid, God makes manifest therefrom the various divine names, al-asma al-mutagaira, and the variegated traces, al-athar al-muktalifa, which result in the realization of the station of mystical apprehension, gnosis, makam al-irfan. And thou shalt witness in this respect that diversity which shall be made manifest as a result of the differentiation of the locus, cfa equals 1, and the foundational bases, al-mal wal asbab. Notwithstanding this differentiation, the manifester, mujali, is one, wid, and the thing manifested, al-tajalli, is, likewise, one, wid. All of this taketh place within thyself if thou would be insightful and thus be assured that there is none other God save him. He it is who fashioned the entirety of the creation, through all of the his divine names and his divine attributes, by Jami Asma'i wa Iftihai, as thou wouldst realize if thou didst not blot out within thyself the wonders of the divine artistry, Badi'i al-Ana. All of this he created in his dominion and made manifest on the level of the created realm, Fi Makam al-Kalk. And ye, O concourse of the Bayan, overstep ye not thy limitations. Fear ye God, and appropriate not to thyselves what hath not been ordained for thee. Be ye not then, such as elevate their station. We, verily, have clarified for thee that whereby the inmost hearts of the mystic knowers, Ayafida al-Urafa, the sages, al-Yukam, and the divines, al-Ulama, were bewildered through the subtle illusions of these words, this to the end that through them thou might thereby gain insight and cause all such as are in the heavens and on the earth to drink deep of this flowing spring, Alma and Algeria, in accordance with their varying capacities and levels of mystic progress, meritib, and in line with that which they are capable of apprehending. Know therefore how this spiritual letter, A, al-Alif al-Run, this all-enduring ornament, al-Ars al-Samadani, this unitative, upright thread, al-Kate al-Mustaqim al-Ad, Baha'u'llah, hath risen up unto and through its own self in the encounter with the denizens of the heavens and of the earth. And at one time it, A equals Baha'u'llah, lifteth up its head unto heaven, whereupon the supreme concourse, Mala al-Lawh, is enraptured thereby, and at another it inclineth it towards the earth, whereupon the bodies of the cherubic beings, Ajsad al-Mukarrabin, are raised up from the sepulchres of extinction, Kuber al-Fana. Wherefore do we deliver unto thee something of that which is inscribed with the fingers of power upon sacred, preserved tablets, all Quds Maf. Then know furthermore that this upright, established, isolated letter, A, al-Alif al-Mustaqima al-Rasika, hath a similitude, methil, in all the worlds, every thread, ray, of its bounty, Kate min in ayatihi, is empowered, indeed. Everything that thou dost observe in all that hath been created and will evermore be created, is a direct result of its uprightness or its uprising or a result of its being solidly established, or indeed, of its power or might, quada qudrat. Know therefore that all of this hath been made manifest by virtue of the very uprightness of this divine letter, A, Istiqamat hada al-alif al-alahi, and everything is sheltered neath the shadow of this divine al-alif al-alahi, and becometh established as a result of its uprightness. So by God, the discourse hath reached a level at which the elusive meanings of knowledge, Isharat al-ilm, and the testimonies of wisdom, Dalalat al-hikmah, have been set forth. This that thou might be especially thankful unto God, thy Lord, during thy days, and be numbered among such as turn aside from all upon the earth, then incline unto the beauty of the divine oneness, Jamal al-Adiyah, and the robe of light, Kamiz al-Nur, equals the Bab/Yahya/Baha'u'llah, beyond the celestial veils of light. Those, that is, who drink deep of the wine of mystic meaning and spiritual life from the hands of the Spirit, Al-Ar equals Baha'u'llah, and at every moment do so quaff. And if there should be displayed before them, the spiritually pious, all manner of erotic visions, Kul al-Tala'at, and there be manifested unto them females, bedecked with every adornment and bejeweled trinket, Zina wa Ali, they would in no wise be distracted thereby. And if, furthermore, such damsels should enter unto them, the pious, adorned with bracelets of gold, Asar al-Dahab, and mighty flowing robes, Jalabib al-Izit, adorned, and silken brocade, al-Sundus, nay indeed, and gilded silk brocade, al-Istabrak, and desire to beguile, seduce, snatch, one of them, the pious, or desire that they, damsels, should command the affection, enter the heart, of any one of them, the pious, then by God, they, the pious, would prove unwilling and would evince no desire to, even, consider them. Such would be the case with the pious, even if these female beings should ornament themselves with all such finery as is possible in the spheres of existence, and make use of eye coloring, evincing, seductively, holy black lashes, all manner of eye makeup, al-akal. Should, in fact, any one of them, the pious, be confronted with all that is possible of distractions on earth, be it even of gold or of silver or of all the adornments of the earthly domain, Zakarif al-Mulk, they would in no wise take note of such things, neither would they be inclined thereto. Such, aforementioned saintly persons are, indeed, the chosen saints of God, Aliyah Allah, for whom there is neither fear nor sorrow. They stand in dread of no one, even if it should be the case that all who inhabit the heavens and the earth should rise up against them. They would not be discomforted, inasmuch as their hearts, their very selves, and their deep, inmost bosoms have been filled with the wine of the mercy of God as well as of His love. There is no space within their hearts such that there should enter therein a love for anything other than Him. Thus do we inform thee regarding the sincere ones, perchance thou wilt comprehend their exalted nature. And thou shalt follow their mode of behavior, so as not to be moved by the tempests of the worldly domain, Awasaf al-Mulk, nor have thy footsteps falter in the violent winds of the course of time, Kawasif al-Dar. Then be thou of such as are resolute in the love of God, Allah. Then know that this letter, al-Aleph, is expressive of mysteries relative to all sciences, Kul al-Ulam, inasmuch as God hath bestowed upon it a portion of the wonders of His bounty. Within it is a foreordainment, measure, of knowledge relative to what hath been and what will be. If, for example, thou deduce the other letters, al-Urift, which are inner dimensions, Sarai are, of this isolated letter, in the light of that which we have divulged unto thee previously of the four levels, implicit therein, and thou write down the secrets of its power of articulation, al-Istintak, and after that divide it according to its four divisions, Taxamat, and thou apply this according to these four divisions in line with its requirement in terms of augmentation and diminution, Aiktida min altaraki wa altanazal, of ascent and equilibrium, altarafu wa altasawi. There shall assuredly appear before thee something of such mysteries as shall astonish the intellects. And thereby will be evident that which thou hast heard regarding the all-encompassing, comprehensive science of Jafar al-Jami, and thou shalt attain unto the genesis of the sciences, Madbat al-Ulam. So, would that we had found some receptive soul meeting with our approval, such that we might bestow upon him what God hath taught us of His bounty. But inasmuch as we failed to find such an one, did we communicate this unto thee only to a limited extent, for we restrict the matter somewhat, lest there become privy thereto every tyrannical apostate, Jabbar Mardud. Know then that these Quranic, isolated letters, al-Hurufat al-Muqaat, are on one level an intimate link, rams, between the enraptured soul and the beloved one, Ashik while Mashuk, the lover and the loved one, Habib while Mabab. And none shall become privy thereto, except those whose hearts God hath made repositories of his knowledge and treasuries of his wisdom, for such is what is hath been anticipated in the knowledge of God, the help in peril, the beloved one. Then know thou furthermore that this isolated letter, al-Aleph, is on one level elusive of the snow-white earth, al-Ar al-Bay, which is the brilliant, most secreted light, al-Nur al-Duri al-Akfa. If that is thou should desire to be perceptive of the mysteries of the divine alchemical artistry in the sphere of nature, Asrar al-Sana al-Abba. And this is the snow-white earth, al-Ar, whose basis and being are derived from the cosmic, watery expanse, Alma, as would be evident should thou apply reason, for it doth exhibit solidity, freeze, when placed within the cosmic, watery expanse, Alma. Then praised be to God its originator, Mujid, and exalted be he above that which they assert. And should thou solidify, freeze, and coagulate, thicken, this brilliant watery substance, Alma al-Duri, in this fiery water, Alma al-Nari, and extract the heat, al-Harara, from the resultant, golden fiery water, Alma al-Dahabi al-Nari, there would be united therein the three realities, which are the spirit, al-Ar, the soul, al-Nafs, and the body, al-Jasid. And this is what hath not been anticipated by the knowledge of anyone among the people, for all are bewildered thereby. It is thus the case that when thou hast coagulated this snow-white earth, al-Ar, engendered from the cosmic water, Alma, there shall appear the crimson hue, al-Amr, in the cosmic water, Alma, which should then be extracted. And when thou hast extracted it, the crimson water, thou should find on its surface the residue, dust, of the fire, Gubra al-Nar. That is to say, it should darken, at which thou should not be sorrowful, for if it is darkened it is perfectly acceptable, since God hath transformed this darkness through the light. This inasmuch as it is ignited and given radiance with the permission of God, the help in peril, the praised one, and this is the fruit of holiness, the Murat al-Quds, which hath been manifested from the celestial tree, al-Shajarat, planted in the heaven of the celestial spheres, Sama al-Aflak, and the earth of the intelligences, intellects, Ard al-Yukal. And this is, also, the philosopher's stone, or al-Yukam, and there, alchemists, silver, fire, and the coveted substance, Ard al-Ashen, as well as there, alchemists, quicksilver, mercury, al-Zabak, and all which they do, synonymously, so designate. And if thou extract it from the divine mind, metal, Ma'din al-Ilahi, let something of the spirit, al-Ar, which deriveth therefrom in power, prevail upon it by virtue of its affinity, for the body, al-Jasid, doth not receive the spirit, al-Ar, which is contrary to it, as thou wouldst know, if thou wert mindful of that which we have bestowed upon thee. And naught shall transpire of the days of successfully completing the alchemical task, except thou shalt, with the permission of God, perform the alchemical whitening process. So strive thou to the utmost degree with respect to its purification, such that nothing shall remain therein of the darkness which is the existing impurity, al-Fazad. Then thou shalt dry it in the fire of virtue, Binur al-Salihat, and in power, prevail upon it with this same spirit, al-Ar, another time. Then set it ablaze in the fire of reeds, Nar al-Kasab, until there riseth up above this cosmic water, Alma, what deriveth from a greatly treasured crimson oil, Dun Amar, and Maksun. By God, this is indeed a result of the gold of the sages, equals philosopher's stone, Min Dahab al-Yukam, over which souls, al-Nufus, hath been perplexed, and the intellects of the wise, al-Hakama, bewildered. Up until this moment, however, none hath attained thereto save those servants who hath not been distracted by the trappings of the world, Zakarif al-Dunya, from the messianic remembrance of God, Dikrallah, the help in peril, the self-subsisting. This is indeed known as the transformative logo soul, al-Nafs, the blood, al-Dam, and the red gum, al-Samkat al-Amr, with which he, the divine alchemist, enliveneth the moldering bodies, Ajsad al-Ramim. if, that is, he bloweth thereon with this life-giving spirit, Allah. Then thou, O assemblage occupied with alchemical practice, Mala al-San-A, seek ye fervently. But be thou conscious of the dangers of the cosmic fire, al-Nar, such that thou shalt not bring it to bear upon the proto-gold, to the extent which results in injury, for this ethereal fire, al-Nar, doth both decompose, yufsid, and restore, yusli, as thou wouldst know if thou wert befittingly aware. Such is that which we mentioned about the fire, al-Nar, the gold, al-Dahab, the soul, al-Nafs, the sulphurous water, ma al-Kibrit, the divine water, ma al-Ilahi, and the airy water, ma al-Hawa. And there applieth unto this elixir all the divine names and attributes, al-Asma wa al-Ift, in its various inner grades and levels in the light of their appropriate correspondences as indicated by the manifestation of miscellaneous hues, colors, and modes of activity, al-Alwan wa al-Afal. Wherefore do we instruct thee to the end that all may attain certitude through this unlettered Iraqi youth, Baha'u'llah, al-Fata alam al-Iraq, possessed of such sciences, li-ulam, as surpass those of the ancients, al-Awalan, and have never been comprehended by those of this latter period, al-Akhiran. This perchance their souls might thereby inwardly comprehend, and they desist from such idle speculations as they indulge in this day. Wherefore, O my brother, should there be manifested for thee upon the surface of the cosmic water, Alma, this luminous child, Al-Walid al-Nurani, and this spiritual infant, Al-Tufl al-Run, then little by little remove it until thy alchemical charge, AMR, shall be completed for thee. By God. If this image on the surface of the water should be envisioned, the fervent heat of the cosmic fire, Hama al-Nar, would bedazzle the sight. Then exalted be the divine fashioner, alchemist, Al-Sani, the creator, the omnipotent, the ruler, the mighty, the awesome. This visage is indeed of the substance, foundation, of the spirit, Al-Alru, as well as an established reality, Hakika. And if it should be designated something else, it would, again, be something metaphorical, majaz. Through it the bodies of the dead, Ajsad al-Mayyida, would be brought to life and would rise up from their tombs and be gathered in the domain of reconstitution, or al-Tadbir. Then shall the resurrection of bodies, Qiyamat al-Ajsad, be manifest for thee on the day in which he shall sound the trumpet, Yanfaha fi al-Ar, on which the bodily garment of the creatures, Kam al-Kala IQ, shall be renewed, and all present be confronted be their past deeds in the sanctified presence, Mater al-Quds, and they shall be punished for all that they have committed of falsehood during their wayward lifetime. They shall discover that they will in every respect be fully recompensed. Wherefore shall the melodies of the dove be renewed, and he replace all that exists in the heavens and on the earth. He shall spread out the earth of mystic knowledge, Gnosis, or Al-Marifa, the bird of the divine oneness, Dik al-Adiyah, shall loll, stick its tongue out, and the true believers shall at this moment ride upon the steed, Al-Burak of light. Should we divulge for thee all that shall take place on this eschatological day, the sacred tablets, Al-Al, would prove unable to bear it, and souls would be convulsed thereby. Thus do we refrain from mention thereof, and return to our previous theme, to the end that the divine bounty which derives from God might take precedence and surround such as are clothed in the garment of existence. Kam al-Wujud, then know that thou, if thou combine this alchemical oil, al-Dun, which we have, in truth disclosed for thee, with this snow-white earth of Gnosis, al-Marifa, it would assuredly unite to the extent that it, the elixir, would be produced. It would indeed be most proximate, closer than if it had been disclosed for thee before thine own vision. This, if, that is, thou should befittingly carry out this alchemical task, al-Amal. Wherefore know thou, appropriately, the secrets of the gold and the silver, al-Dahab wa al-Fi, then the sun and the moon, al-Shams wa al-Kamr, the white gum and the red gum, al-Samgid al-Bay wa al-Amr. Perchance thou might be befittingly informed. And regarding this day, alchemists say, the alchemical work, al-Amal, is not save the mystery of the two most great luminaries, al-Narain al-Azamain, equals the sun and the moon, just as thou art aware from the books of the people. And in this respect know thou also that they say that our gold is not the common gold, and likewise the silver, alfaya, that thou do ordinarily know about. Such gold, dahab, is indeed that which we have named possessed of dual wings, dhul janahain, for it was a bird soaring in all of the bodies, tyar phyelach said, and something, designated with all the various alchemical names, alasma. It, the bird, so designates, for example, the element, water, alma, to the end that it might stream and flow, and it designates fire, alnar, so that it might, by its own nature, heat things up. It likewise designates the element, the earth, alar, such that it might prove inwardly solidified. Similarly again, it so designates the element, air, al-hawa, such that it might effect combination, li'ijtima, a uniting of what is within it, ? All such as are perceptive of the mysteries of nature, asrar al-tabiyat, bear witness unto the truth of this matter. Such are among those who have attained detachment from what is other than God, and have been enabled to orient themselves towards Him, towards attaining unto a transcendent station, makam al-Lawh. Then know furthermore that this radiant, elixir oil, fiery oil, al-dun al-musha shah al-nari, is assuredly the crown of crowns, iklil al-iklil, the divine crown, iklil al-alahi, and the crown of victory, iklil al-galbat, since, by virtue of it, all of the bodies, al-ajsad, are regenerated, transmuted, transformed. That is to say, through it are all bodies, al-ajsad, made to recover from viscous, decayed moistness, wetnesses, al-rabat al-lazija al-mufsida, and the abysmal, base drynesses, al-ubusat al-muslima al-radiya. Through it also, all that hath been created upon the earth will be cured from all diseases. It is assuredly the quintessence of the divine, cosmic activity, Jawhar al-Fail, from which are established the foundations of the world, Qawam al-Alam. It is, also, the heat without which there would be no motion, al-Haraka, for motion is a result of the action which is engendered thereby. Wherefore know ye that all science, knowledge, is by virtue of the heat, min al-Harara, as thou would realize, if, that is, thou should ponder the essences of the science, knowledge, of reality. Jawahir ilm al-Hakika. Assuredly is it the resting place of the valiant, Ral al-Shajin, as well as the male organ, al-Dakar, the youth, al-Shabab, the mercury, al-Zybak, the orient, al-Mashrik, and the spirit, soul, al-Ar, which bloweth over the moldering bones, al-Azam al-Ramama, causing them, with the permission of God, the King, the powerful, the self-subsisting, to rise up. Then know thou that the spirit, al-Ar, is not but the increased density of the ethereal, water, alma al-Munjamid, upon the face of the snow-white earth, al-Ar al-Bay. This results from a directive, cause logos, AMR, from which it doth suddenly appear, even as rapid divine revelation, al-Way al-Sari. And God made it, the Spirit, to be triumphant over all things, for this is assuredly that which, from time immemorial overshadoweth all things through the shadow of the name of God, the triumphant, al-Ghalib, the powerful, al-Qadir. Manifest therefrom are the traces of power, Athar al-Qudrat, as thou wouldst observe, if thou should attain unto this station, Makam. And this snow-white earth, al-Aral Bay, is assuredly a philosopher's stone, lihajar, from which gusheth forth streams, al-Anhar, which are one in their species, gender, class, hayawadat fi jinsia, and likewise one in their organized mode, tadbiri hawadat. If thou would multiply this oneness, thou wouldst witness for its similitude, methil, is the isolated letter, a, al-Aleph, the like of which we have already made mention. For this letter, a is one in its soul, nafs. It is not subject to enumeration, though enumeration does result from it. Multiplicity emergeth therefrom, though thou do yet observe the multiplicity of the worlds of numbers, katharat awalam al-Adad, through the countenance of the one, al-Ad al-Wid. This, a, is, indeed, the philosopher's stone, al-Hajar, in which the three species, ajnas al-Thalalitha, are combined, as thou do assuredly testify with thine own eyes, if, that is, thou art experienced in the knowledge, science, of God, ilm Allah. It, the A equals elixir equals stone equals spirit, is certainly evocative of the night of destiny, Laylat al-Qadr, Q 97:1F. For thereon is a thing determined according to a hidden knowledge, ilm magnon. God concealeth it from the inmost hearts of his servants, just as the night of destiny, Laylat al-Qadr, is concealed from such as failed to gaze with the vision of God, by Baha'u'llah, into the realities of things. Haqiq al-Ashiyah. And we compare it, the hidden decree, to the night, al-Layla, because darkness and shadows, al-Sawad wal-Alama, become manifest therein after the primordial structuring, regulation of fate. Tadbir al-Al. This resulteth from the shadows, al-Alamat, within which was determined the water of life, ma-al-Ion. Such is of the reality, al-Ak, about which thou hast heard aforetime, now hearken thou. O concourse of the Bayan, then ponder upon that which hath been sent down aforetime in the criterion, al-Furqan equals the Quran, regarding the determination of the threefold shadows. This to the end that thine eyes might be solaced thereby, and thou attain unto the acme of that after which the people hath striven in their search. And thou, O thou servant, know thou that Baha'u'llah was immortalized, Kara, rendered verdant as Kir, when he attained unto the dawning place of eternal subsistence, Mashrik al-Baka, nigh the source of this water, Ma and Alma, though he was not concerned therewith, neither did he drink therefrom, inasmuch as the spirit, soul, Al-Ru, reoriented him, Kalabahu, through his own logo self, Min Nafsihai, and a mighty, beloved, right-hand direction, CFQ 1818. This inasmuch as this youth, Al-Fata, Baha'u'llah, desireth not eternal subsistence, Al-Baka, for his own self in this earthly domain, Al-Mulk, nay, rather, he extendeth his logo spirit, R, and all that is before him for the sake of all that inhabit the heavens and the earth. Such is what he hath chosen for his own self, Li Nafsihai, in a state of love before God, the King, the help in peril, the powerful, the praised one. Say, O people, by God, this servant desireth nothing at all for himself, and seeketh assistance from no one in the earthly domain save God alone. Unto the truth of this testifieth the tongue of the divine oneness, Lisan al-Adiyah, in a concealed, unseen pavilion, Suratic Gabe Master. Say, this is the lamp, Al-Siraj, which hath not sought the niche, Al-Mishkat, from anyone. He doth not take exclusive possession within his own logo self of the theophanic fire, Al-Nar, and hath not beamed forth by virtue of anything other than God, the unique, the mighty, the transcendent, the self-subsisting. Then thank thou God, thy Creator, in that he hath unveiled for thee the mysteries through this resplendent, delimited pen, Al-Kalam al-Duri al-Madad. It, revelation of the pen, was indeed a thing delimited only by virtue of its self-generated delimitation, mad and biadihai, though God mocketh to flow therefrom what is unlimited, what hath no extremity, for therein thou should indeed witness the mysteries of the transcendent divine, abstraction, Asrar al-Tafrid, and this delimited reality, Fi Hada al-Tad. Such is of the knowledge which God hath taught my pen. This to the end that all might attain certitude, since, with his permission, are the heavens of knowledge, Samawat al-Ilm, folded up in his right hand, Madwiyati fi Yaminahi, and the earth of wisdom, Ard al-Ikma, again, with his permission, deposited therein. Yet do all still wonder whether to inquire of us/him after the wonders of his knowledge. Then know that the first thing that was originated from the genesis of pre-existent eternity, Hadatha min Mudith al-Kadam, in the worlds of creation were the four elements, al-Anasir al-Arba. According to thy time-honored and current designation they are, 1. Fire, al-Nar, 2. Air, al-Hawa, 3. Water, al-Ma, and 4. Earth, al-Ar. Thereafter appeared the four natures, GK Stoichaya, elements, Yusukusad al-Arba, which, as thou do enumerate and know them, are 1. Hotness, al-Harara, 2. Wetness, al-Rutuba, 3. Coldness, al-Baruda, and 4. Dryness, al-Yubusa. Hence, when thou do mix and combine them, there is manifested for every one of them two pillars, Rugnain. Thus, relative to the fire, Lnar, it is, the two elements, 1. Hotness, al-Harara, and 4. Dryness, al-Yubusa. And it is likewise for the three remaining elements, al-Anasir, about which fundamentals, al-Qawaid, thou shouldst acquaint thyself. Through them did God create all that does exist in the worlds of creation, be they transcendental realities or things mundane, al-ulwiyat wal sufliyat, which is all that maintains through time due, equilibrium, the balance of their natures, taba, iuvu, just as thou witnesseth in the sun and the moon. And whatever fails to maintain the requisite balance of their natures does speedily perish, just as thou can observe in the lower worlds of creation, awalam al-sufla. Strive thou then to become aware of the diverse aspects of the harmonious balance associated with the metals, minerals, al-mutadila min al-ma'adin. Such will prove more straightforward of being regulated relative to the accomplishment of the alchemical task, ashal tasbir and fa'il-amal, if that is, thou act appropriately, for the alchemical process, al-amr, is not actualized save through separation, tafsil, purification, tathir, and combination, tazwij. This is in conformity with the reality about which all the prophets, al-anbiya, have spoken forth. And thou, when thou become aware of the foundational reality of nature, uss al-tabi'a, pertaining to the divine metal, mineral, min ma'din al-ilahiyya, take therefrom only according to thy requirement, then refine, distill, ito the water of life, katira bima alai, which leath within its nature and is the very closest of things within and relative to it, akrab al-ashi of Baha'u'llah. This such that the foundational nature is transmuted and becomes snow white, bay, of pristine purity, nakiya. Then allow the internal water to empower it, the transformed foundational reality, thumma salid aleha alma, and produce moisture, dew therefrom, wadha ahafai elnada, until, to a limited extent, this resultant foundational reality, al-uss, is subject to differentiation, transmutation. And thus will this interactive cosmic spirit, al-r, equals water, reconfigure this earth, after that place it, the reconfigured earth, in darkness until it is mixed and reconstituted into a single reality, whereupon thou should coagulate, thicken it upon a gentle fire and repeat this process twice or even more times, the process, that is, of coagulation, al-act, and differentiation, al-hal, for such is especially in conformity with reality if thou desire to operate in this way. If thou should prove incapable of this, then cause this intrinsic water, alma, to empower this earth substance, al-r, then maintain it in the differentiated state until this internal water, alma, is reconstituted as something snow white, beta, of pristine purity, nakiya. Thereafter wax this new earth, al-ard, with this intrinsic water, by elma, such that thou shalt attain to the utmost degree according to thy desire. Then differentiate it after the waxing process, al-tashmi, for the final stage of the waxing process, muntaha al-tashmi, was the first state of differentiation, makam al-hal. After the differentiation thou shalt coagulate it, and then shall the alchemical work of the moon, amal al-kamar, be completed, and thou shalt witness the power of God, Qudrat Allah, with thine own vision, if that is thou wouldst come to realization in accordance with that which we have stipulated in this tablet. In such manner shalt thou perform the alchemical task, for knowledge necessarily precedes the alchemical work, al-aml. Heed ye! Heed ye! O concourse of the Bayan, before ye take alchemical action with respect to all that we have taught thee, do not carry out this matter. Such is our advice unto thee, so hearken ye. If that is, thou desire to tread the paths of reality, then know thou that foundational reality is a term which might designate the water, alma, for the water, alma, is the basis of the alchemical operations, al-asl fi al-amal, from which cometh the pure oil, al-dan al-safi, whatsoever is oiled therewith shall never be, destructively, set ablaze. This is indeed of the water, alma, through which God giveth live unto the earth, al-ard, after its death, and from which the revivification, resurrection, al-nashur, is realized. Some there are among the prophets, al-anbiya, who are sages, al-hakama, alchemical initiates, such as were wholly self-sufficient through this water, alma, by virtue of the performance of this alchemical work, aml. They extracted by means of it whatsoever they desired according to the superlative procedures, Gayat al-Qaswa, and the mysteries of this alchemy is of the real, the hidden science, ilm agmactum. Whoso acknowledgeth the truth of this is numbered among such as hath had their hearts examined for faith by God and been taught by God about the Mercury, al-Zibak, and its unique oneness. This alchemical secret is a treasure which hath assuredly been sealed with the seal of God. And if thou desire to perform the alchemical task of the sun, aml al-Shams, relative to the production of gold, al-Dahab, then return ye to this body, al-Jasid, which is of the pure oil, min al-Dun al-Safi. This oil is that which we hath mentioned aforetime, and which we designated the gold of the people, Dahab al-Kam, and the sulfur of the ultimately real, Kibrit al-Ak. For thou art bewildered over the performance of the alchemical task by God. We mentioned for thee all of the aspects of the alchemical work, kul al-amal, and cast upon thee science such as hath not been available to any soul aforetime. And thou shalt bear witness thereto in both thy spirits and thy souls, if thou art truly perceptive. We have mentioned unto thee what is a clarification of the miscellaneous allusions pertaining to the theory of the balance of the qualities, of the foundational nature of things, for whosoever hath become privy thereto hath assuredly become insightful, successful, through the superlative divine bounty, by l-inaya, Gayat, al-Qaswa, through this lordly wisdom and this divine bestowal, as thou wouldst know, if thou wert truly aware. Thus at this moment have we cast upon thee what will make thee independent of such as have been devoted to the alchemical art, al-San'a. Know then that if thou should understand that the alchemical matter, al-Amr, is not save what is accomplished through mercury and sulfur, min al-Zibak al-Kibrit, then thou would realize also that these two are alchemically represented by the sun and the moon, Phi al-Shams wal-Qamar, which are, in the symbolic language of certain alchemists, gold and silver, al-Dahab wal-Faya. Know thou also that salt, mil, is saline, mali, and the subsistent constituency of bodies, Talal Alach said, since thou, PL, shall in no wise find better that it for the sake of obtaining gold, as would be evident, if, that is thou should, carefully, examine all aspects of the constituent alchemical realities of things. This and that within the spiritual essence of their nature is a universal archetype, munasabat kaliya, which is not fully explicable through the pen even if thou should write for the duration of thy lifetime. And thou, if thou should produce this salt from its source mine, then distill, filter it and disassociate the lime, kills, which is produced and generated therefrom until it become a single reality, unique spirit, nafs and wadat, and a durable oil, done in thabit, then, by God, thou would attain unto the summit of knowledge and the apex of whatsoever is known. This since within the salts, alamla, are secreted the inmost mysteries of concealed hidden things like unto the penultimate sciences which thou might witness treasured up within purified hearts. The realization of such truth is, indeed, an aspect of the reality of certitude, ak al-yakin, after which all the people, being destitute thereof, do assuredly wander aimlessly in the veil of ignorance. Thus doth the dove of knowledge warble in beloved, ecstatic accents upon the branches of wisdom. In this respect have we communicated sufficiently, though we remain fearful of the disclosure of the alchemical matter, al-Amr, which we have unveiled for thee in sublime, lucid illusions, even though none shall attain thereto save through the love of God and of his chosen ones. This is what this supreme pen bestoweth upon thee in these specified tablets, al-Madud, though thou, if thou should hearken unto my bounty, would seek from God what would render thee self-sufficiently independent of gold and silver. By God, should thou befittingly hearken unto what hath just been communicated, thou would realize that this is the very furthermost degree of the mysteries of the alchemical matter, al-Amr. This inasmuch as gold and silver maketh none truly self-sufficient, wealthy. Nay rather, they increase, not but, poverty, al-Fakr, as thou would realize, if thou should befittingly observe. Yet, relative to this matter, do we make supplication for thee to the end that thou be made self-sufficiently independent of all such as inhabit the heavens and the earth. This that is, if thou should take firm hold of the thread of the reality of the alchemical matter, Kate al-Amr, contained in this discourse. Then know, thou, that this letter, A, al-Aleph, was revealed at the beginning of the criterion, al-Furqan, equals the Quran, and we, verily, have expounded it for thee by means of subtle allusions such as render intellect speechless. It, verily, hath been created by means of the letter A, al-Aleph, which was revealed in the Bayan on the part of God, the help in peril, the exalted, the self-subsisting. Yet before him, the ultimate God, is it, the letter A, something non-existent as would be evident if thou should ponder over its mysteries. And if thou consider the matter, on another level it, the A, represents his, God's, logo self and his essence, fi makam kana nafsihai wadadihai, as would be evident, if thou should enter into the pavilion of the divine unity, Suratic al-Ta'ad, and relative to this matter know thou the station of this straight, upright, letter, A, makam al-Aleph al-Qaima al-Mustaqima, on the day on which God will commission, raise up, the gems of knowledge through a sanctified, expected point, equals the Bab. So too shall it be, when man yuhiruhu Allah, him whom God shall make manifest equals the Babi Messiah, shall come upon the cloud of knowledge and power, Allah Sahab al-Ilm wal Qudrat, with the angels of the cause, Malaikat al-Amr, at his right hand, and when all in the heavens and on the earth shall swoon away at the judgmental thunderbolt, Seka, of that day. On that eschatological day shall the pillars of the creatures be seized with trembling, and all be overtaken with turmoil at the majesty of the cause of God, Amr Allah. So shall there be joyous felicitation for such as have attained unto the presence of his beauty, Jamal, then, in his presence, enter into the paradise of holiness should they at that instant be commanded to do something they would neither say why or wherefore. In the light of what they had been commanded, they would assuredly speed on and not be at all fearful regarding the inhibiting limitations of the concourse of the Bayan. They would be as a suckling infant galloping forward at the bosom of the mercy of God. They would neither vacillate over anything nor be fearful of anyone. And if all in the concourse of the Bayan or another religious community should attempt to hinder them, they would not be held back, neither would they be made to turn aside in consequence of any single thing. They would not even open their eyes towards anyone, for they would be forever gazing upon the pristine, divine, messianic beauty, Arf al-Jamal. Now do we beseech God that he render us successful, and beware ye of the factions which do circle around him, such as are present upon his carpet and who give heroic testimony in his presence to the effect that he, verily, is assuredly the powerful, the giver, the mighty, the beloved one.